signed up. So this is so far ahead of any other town that's doing this in the state. And tonight you can hear from some of the people who have actually had installations done already. But that's all I want to say is welcome, and you'll hear from B3 about solarizing, about heat, and other options that we have.
Thanks, Kathy. I'm Melissa Schlag, for those of you who don't know me, First Selectman of Haddam. And I'll just be real quick. Kathy did mention we had 1,016 kilowatts. The next town behind us is only 241 megawatts, right? Kilowatts. 241 kilowatts, and that's Farmington. We are the smallest town besides Essex on here, and they only have 40 people signed up. So we have 105. That's pretty amazing. And I'm going to introduce Mark Stevens, because he is our Solarize guru in Haddam. He has been at almost every farmer's market with Mary Ann Gilman. Where's Mary Ann? She's in the back row. Yeah. Mark is a big, huge reason why we are so successful, and I want to thank him. He's on our energy task force, and he has been running his little solar butt off. So we really thank you very much for all the work you've done for improving the environment.
Thanks.
Thank you, yes. I'm Mark Stevens. I'm a member of the Haddam Energy Task Force. And on behalf of that force and the Killingworth Energy Task Force, we welcome you tonight for this final program informational workshop on putting solar on your properties. We will be hearing from the installer, that's B3 Solar, who was competitively chosen for these two towns. You're looking at one of the better discounts you can get, and then we'll also hear from them about split heat exchange systems, because a lot of us out there are using oil, and that's what we want to get away from, not just make electricity for just our usage, which we've tried to keep down so low, but instead to try to take some of the fuel oil out of our basements as well. And then I will be introducing a couple of folks who already have systems put on for a little testimonial. And so for right now, I'd like to introduce Kapil or Harsh, the B3 Solar.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Kapil. I'm with B3 Solar. And I'll tell you a little bit about our company and then about the program, and then we'll go over some examples of what the system costs and what it does for you. So we're right here in Madison. We're a local company. I actually live in Killingworth. I've lived here for almost 15 years now. So this is really, really local for us. And that's why we're really passionate about the program. That's why we want to see so much solar in Killingworth and Haddam, because this is our hometown, and this is a really big deal for us. To you know, when you close your eyes and you think about how to transform an entire town so that every house has solar panels and they're getting clean energy is a big deal. And it does so much for homeowners. Systems last over 30 years, save a fortune, help the planet, does so much positive things, and so many people are behind it. So part of this program was, you know, it was sponsored by the state. And so the state said, how do we get more people to do solar? The state is giving a lot of money. They're giving, you know, almost up to $10,000. And they came up with this program. And so this, you know, the federal government has been encouraging this. Federal government's giving 30% tax credit. So everybody everybody is behind this. And now the town is behind this. So the Solarize program was, you know, there's a federal government, there's a state, and then the town gets involved under Solarize. So this is really once in a lifetime opportunity. The prices are so low. It was a competitive bid process, so state put out a bid, and 10, 15 different companies put in a bid, so they put in their best price. And we are really giving you the best parts at the lowest price. And we want to see, you know, hundreds and hundreds of homes go solar, because it makes a statement not only for our local community, but it makes a statement throughout the state and throughout New England, and everybody is watching this. Everybody is seeing the progress that we're doing here, and it's very exciting. So again, Solarize is just a group buy deal. Everybody gets the same parts, they get the same price. So it's supposed to be very simple, and it's supposed to be for everybody to do it together. So there's a deadline in October. So after that deadline is over, then the deal is no longer, you know, valid, and no town has ever been able to do Solarize round 2. So if you really want to do it, this is the time to do it, because you're never going to get this type of equipment and the price, and you know, you're just not going to get it anymore. So solar is so simple. You know, the equipment, it's just solar panels. There's no moving parts. We put them on your roof. Some people are doing ground mount systems where it's going in their yard, and it just works. Every day the sun comes out, your system makes electricity, the electricity goes into your house, and anything that's on in your house gets solar electricity first. And the electricity is the same quality of electricity that comes from the grid. And so whenever you're not using that electricity in your house, your light bulbs are not on, that power is going back into the street. Someone else is using it. So, you know, you're helping other people get clean energy, and you're getting credits for it. The utility company's meter spins backwards when you sell them power. And so what really happens is every day, during the daytime, you're using a little bit of the solar electricity, but most of it is going back into the grid. You're getting credits for it. And then at nighttime, you're buying electricity. And so when you get a month, you get the bill in 1 month, it kind of all nets out. So we only look at what you use in 1 year, and we try to build a system that will make that much energy in 1 year. In most of the homes that we've done, we've given people systems that have made 100% of their electricity. And when we can do that, then you're never really buying anything from the utility company. You don't have to worry about prices going up. Your bill is usually $16, and that's just the bill to be connected to the utility company. And so the systems last so long, and if you get it, you know, you no longer have electric bills, you can do the math, and you can see how much money you're saving. It's very simple. System is going to make so much electricity per year, it's worth this many kilowatt, you know, this many cents, 20 cents a kilowatt hour, that you're no longer paying to the utility company. And in Connecticut, we have the highest utility rates in the entire nation, and there's an average of 6% inflation per year for the last 40 years. So you're pretty much guaranteed that prices will always go up. So this is just a simple slide that shows what happens. During the daytime when the sun is out, power, you're selling it back to the utility company, and at nighttime, you're buying electricity from the utility company. So you never have to worry about, you know, where is my power going to come from? The power is always there because you're always connected to the grid. And one of the benefits of, there's a lot of benefits, so just I'll quickly go over some of the benefits. So, you know, there's no sales tax on a solar system. There's no, you know, town can't increase your property tax. These are laws that have been passed. There's net metering. Net metering requires the utility company to buy back your power, and it also says that they have to, for example, when you sell them credits, they're keeping track of how many credits you sold, and they're rolling those over every month. So if you sold them like 100 kilowatt hours, and you only used 50, then you have 50 more kilowatt hours the next month. And they keep those credits for you for 1 year. So that's why we can design systems for 1 year, because in the summertime, your system makes more power, and in the wintertime, it makes less power. So that's why there's a 1-year cycle. So that is a really, really good benefit to have. That's a law that has been passed. So a lot of people ask, you know, my home is probably not suitable for solar, but especially in Killingworth, there's a lot of trees, but every home is really suitable for solar. We've had customers who cut down some trees. You can put solar on the south. So the south side is the best place to put solar panels, but you can also put them on the east roof and the west roof. We just don't want to put solar panels on the north roof. So almost every home can get solar panels. And if you have to cut some trees down, you do it, but then the savings, you know, pay for themselves. And then a lot of people have land, so we are doing a lot of ground mounts. And we'll have photos to show you about some of those. So I told you a little bit about the Solarize program. We're going to talk about what parts you're getting and things like that. So everybody is getting the same parts, and everybody's getting the same price. The only difference is it's all based on wattage. So if we give you a 10,000 watt system, you're paying a set price per watt times 10,000 watts. Some people are getting a 5,000 watt system. So, but the price per watt is the same. Everybody's getting all black panels. They're ranging from 250 to 260, 260 watts, all black panels that look really nice on a roof. So we were one of the first companies 2 years ago when we were doing Solarize Durham, we were the only company using all black panels because we really cared about how it looked. We really wanted it to look nice. And other people were using panels that had a silver frame and blue color cells, and they looked like they were from the 70s. But people are still using those panels. They were cheaper, so, and the installers probably didn't care what it looked like, but we were doing homes that, you know, on Main Street in Durham, they were from 1700s, and you can't even tell there's solar panels on the roof, because the roof was black, and you have black solar panels, so it looked really, really nice. We're using something called per panel inverters. They're called microinverters. They came out about 5 years ago, and they changed the industry. For 30 years, people were using one large inverter because solar panels make DC electricity and you convert that to AC electricity. So they were using this large central inverter, and there were a lot of problems with those. So the microinverter solved all of those problems. It solved the problem about shading. It solved the problem that how do you know for 30 years your system is working, you know, 100%. So with a microinverter, you can actually see everything. There's a monitoring system where you can see every single panel, and the minute something happens, we get an email, you get an email, and most of the time the company can even upgrade the software like remotely. So it solved a lot of issues, like there could be a shading, there could be a chimney, there could be a leaf that's fallen on your system, and it doesn't affect the majority of your system, it just affects that one panel that the leaf was on. So we also give you another monitoring system that allows you to see what your house is doing. So we were one of the first companies to think about this, and we were like, hey, it's great that people now care about their electricity. They care about, you know, their electric bill now, and they care about how much solar they're making. But now this monitoring system actually shows you all of that. Like it actually shows you how much solar is making, how much your house is using, and where that extra energy is going in real time. So, in terms of warranties, the state requirement was to give you a 5-year labor warranty. We are giving a 12-year labor warranty. That means we'll come out for free for 12 years to fix anything. But on top of that, and what's more important is that all of the equipment has a 25-year warranty. Solar panels have a 25-year warranty, and the microinverters have a 25-year warranty. And the microinverter company will pay us to come out and fix anything. So really, for 25 years, you have no expenses. So this is really, really important because, you know, when you buy a refrigerator, you have a 1-year warranty and someone has to come out and they pay $70 to come out. Here, this is 25 years really of no expenses because the solar panels have no moving parts. They're cells, there's no machinery in there, it just absorbs light, creates electricity. Nothing can fail really in a solar panel. The microinverter is something that can fail, but the company is giving a 25-year warranty. So panels last a long time. So the warranty says at year 25, they'll still make 80% of what they're rated at. There's a 250 watt panel. The warranty is that at year 25, it's still going to make 80% of 250 watts. So if that's, if that's the case, then at year 30, you're going to be making power. At year 35, you're going to be making power. So this, when we give you a financial analysis, we go up to 25 years, but this is going to make you so much money because it just keeps on working. And the people who installed solar panels in the 70s and all the solar panels that went on satellites in the 70s, they're still working today. They just keep on working. So it's really, really, it's really good. It's a really good technology. So again, there's no property tax increase. The state rebate, there's a state rebate up to $10,000 depending on how big your system is. And then there's a federal tax credit of 30%. So one more important thing, Town of Haddam was one of the first really towns to support a permit fee waiver. This was an initiative started in California, and then the state picked it up, and the state passed a law that allowed towns to waive permit fees. So whatever money that we were estimating to spend on permit fees was $200 per an application. We're actually giving it back to the people of Haddam. So not only do you get all those discounts, but you get another $200 discount. And Town of Killingworth capped it at $200, so we're paying $200 to the Town of Killingworth for permit fees. So we're taking care of everything. We're taking care of from the initial site visit to submitting your applications with the utility company, with the state, taking care of permits, installing your system, setting up your monitoring systems. We're there for the final inspections. We're taking care of everything, really. There's nothing that the homeowner has to do except sign the paperwork, and then it's all our responsibility. So this is what a black panel looks like. You'll see some more pictures later on with what it looks like on a house, and this is what a microinverter looks like. So these are the two major parts. There's the solar panel and the microinverter. And all of this goes on your roof. So there's nothing really going on in your house. We're not really installing any equipment in your house. The most important equipment is on the roof. And the electric wire that comes down from the roof ties into your electric panel. So just like those other breakers tie into your electric panel, that's what the solar system does. It's very simple. There's nothing complicated about it. And this is what a monitoring system looks like. You can see every single panel. And if there was a shade or if there was a big cloud that went overhead, some of those panels would get dark and make less power. And that happens all the time. This is why microinverters are so important, because without them, the whole system would be affected if there was a shade on one panel. But now that's no longer the case. You can have a tree like near your house that's causing early morning shading. You can have a chimney. You can have, all of these things going on. The most important thing is, what I like about this is, you get a lot of peace of mind that you can just open up your, computer screen and see that every single panel is working. Because you made an investment. Investment is supposed to last a very long time, over 25 years. And right away you can see something that's working. So it's a great technology. It really changed how solar systems are designed. Because without this technology, you would not be able to have, you would have to have like a perfectly clear site. No trees, you could have nothing. You could have no chimney, you could have, it would have to be a perfect site. And that's how people install solar, 10 years ago. This is the other monitoring system. So the first dial tells you what solar is making. The second dial tells you what your house is using. So all the stuff that you have in your house, like your refrigerator's on, your computers are on, your light bulbs are on, that is called load. So that is what your house is using. And the net meter is which way the energy is going. And as long as solar is making more than what your house is using, it tells you how much kilowatt you're selling back to the utility company. And you can run daily charts, you can run weekly charts, and it's really, 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 very interesting monitoring system. Let's try this in. So this is what happens when you do Solarize. The whole town gets involved, people get excited, and when we did Solarize Durham, we did almost 120 homes. It was a record. It was 2 years ago. No town ever was able to come close to those numbers. And now we're doing Haddam Killingworth, we're probably going to break that record. And this has been great for the community. It's brought a lot of people together. It's created a lot of interest in not only saving money from the utility company, but also doing something about the environment. And every week I read another article in the newspaper how the utility company wants to raise more prices. You know, just it's like 40–50% increase this year. So there's a lot of stuff going on with the utility company putting in more and more applications with Pura that they want to increase rates even more and more and more, and it will never stop. And this is one of the reasons we're so passionate about this, is because when you buy a home, you always get, it's always hard to pay the bills. It's always hard to pay the oil bill. It's always hard to pay the utility bill, and they never stop going up. And one of the reasons our company name is called Be Free Solar is because we're trying to allow you to live in your home without paying these reoccurring charges of bills. And we are also installing heat pumps that take away your oil bill. So you can save a couple of $1,000s a year on your oil bill, and you can save a couple of $1,000s a year in your utility bill, then you are living in your home for free, right? Except for the property tax bill, but we can't do anything about that. So that is really our goal, and we're helping people do this. So it's really exciting. This is what the map looked like when we did Durham, and you'll see what a map looks like in Killingworth and Haddam. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people together. They're excited about it. They realize that this is probably the best time to do it. Prices are so low. There's tariffs that came out, 30% tariffs that are hitting panels that are made overseas. That's affecting the entire industry. But under this program, the deal is the deal. You're still getting the deal, and we're kind of, whatever cost increases are coming, we're eating those costs. So when this program is over and another round of Solarize comes up, people are actually going to put in higher prices because federal government has tariffs and panels and stuff like that. So the good thing, is that even if you sign up, this month and you have like 1 or 2 weeks in October, you have a lot of time to get their system installed. So the state gives you 6 months to install the system, and then if you have some kind of circumstance where you need to ask for more time, you can ask for more time. So you don't have to get your system installed by October, you just have to sign the contract by October, and then you have plenty of time to get it installed. So we'll be installing all the way into spring and summer because there's so many people have signed up. So this is the breakdown. In Haddam, there are 66 people, almost 600 kilowatts of solar being installed. In Killingworth, there's 44 homes and almost 500 kilowatts. And more people are signing up as the program comes to a close. Every day people are signing up, and it's not too late. So we'll go over a quick example, and then we'll bring some people who have already gotten their systems installed and let them talk. So this is how it works. It's all based on how much power you're getting. So we look at your utility bill, and let's just say the third line is your utility usage in 1 year. We calculated how much you use in 1 year, and you're using 6,000 kilowatt hours a year. So we built the system, and the system wattage is the raw power. It's 250 watts times the number of panels. So let's say we give you a 6,000 watt system. In Connecticut, if we point that south, it's going to make, say, 7,500 kilowatt hours. So your utility bill is all in kilowatt hours. So the system is going to make 7,500 kilowatt hours. That is 124% of your usage, right? You're using 6,000, it's going to make more. The cost of this under Tier 5 is $21,000. The state will give you a rebate of $6,500. It's locked in, so when we submit the application to the state, it is locked in and saved for you. So then the amount you have to come up with is $14,444. So one of the things is the state is telling us to pass on the rebate to you up front. So we're not charging you for the rebate, we're just minusing it off your bill. And the state will come and do an inspection. They have their own engineer. They'll come out and do an inspection, maybe like 1 month later. And they'll check everything, make sure everything's good, and then they'll pay us. So you get this, you get this money right away. It's right up front. So you only have to come up with $14,000, and then when you do your tax return, you get another 30% tax credit. It's a real tax credit, one-for-one tax credit. It's not a deduction, it's a real credit. So the federal government, as long as you've paid $6,000, or in that whole year you owe the government $6,000, they'll give you that money back. So it's full credit. So then your final system cost is $8,000. Does anybody have a question about any of these numbers? So you can carry it forward. So the question was, what happens if you don't, you didn't owe the government $6,000 in taxes? So you can carry the credit forward for 3 years.
If you don't install until after the new year, you said there's a delay, is there a 2015 renewal of the federal tax credit? Or?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to expire in 2016.
Is there any overlap with the other energy credits like windows, doors, other, people put in furnaces, their spend, these programs?
No, this is just a solar rebate. So the federal government, if you install a solar panel on your house, they give you 30% tax credit. And they have other rebates for other things. If you put in, I don't know, whatever, windows or doors, they have their own different programs for that. This is just for the solar program.
What about the rebate for geothermal? That's tied into the solar books. It's the same federal credit as the solar.
Yeah, I don't know about geothermal, I just know about solar, sorry. So the tax credit you get for a solar system is 30% tax credit off of, what you pay for a solar system.
Is 6,000 watts kind of small compared to the average? Because this is all per wattage, right? So if it was a 12,000, it would be double that price.
That's right. So it's hard to give people an example like this because everybody's usage is different. So what we do is we come to your house, we calculate your electric bill, we add up what you're using in 1 year, and we give you panels that can make that much energy. So this is just an example. Some people might need 10,000 watt systems. Some people might need 4,000 watt systems. We're getting all over the board. We're just trying to keep the number close to an average.
So the 21,000 base price is based on the 6,000?
Yeah, so the prices on a roof mount system, a tier 5 price is $3.50 a watt. You multiply that by 6,000 watts. That's the price, initial price.
What's your average install?
The average install is probably maybe like 7,000 watts.
You said that the power company pays you back. How much do they pay you back?
So what you're doing with a utility company is just trading credits, one-for-one credits. You're selling them a kilowatt hour, and then you're buying a kilowatt hour. And a kilowatt hour is averaging 18 to 20 cents because a kilowatt hour is made up of, they break it down in your bill, but it's made up of generation and distribution. So when you look at your bill and it says you used 1,000 kilowatt hours, that 1,000 is multiplied by all those rates, and if you add it all up, most people are paying almost 20 cents a kilowatt hour. So under the solar net metering law, all you're doing is trading kilowatt hours. So you're getting the full value of electricity because they're just trading credits with you back and forth. But let me, we'll come back to questions later, but let me just go through this. Here are examples of financing. So it's probably really hard to see this, but I'll quickly go over it. For a typical system that was 6,000 watts of energy, it would cost you $112 from Connecticut Light and Power per month. That would be your bill. A lot of people are taking home equity loans, which are like 2.5% interest rates. So if you finance this project and you took a home equity loan, your monthly payment to the bank, like say it's Liberty Bank or whatever, would average $44 a month. So all you did was really, you took a loan, but you swapped, you're paying either the utility company, you're paying them either $112, or you're paying the bank $44. It's much cheaper to, if you don't have the cash, to even take a loan and finance the project. The state has 2 programs. One is a Smart E-loan. It's a 10-year program, 10-year loan at 3%. If you do 2 things at the same time, like for example, people are installing heat pumps, then they will give you a 10-year loan, unsecured loan, 3%, and your monthly payment would be $79 versus $112 for the utility company. And after 10 years, you paid off the loan, whole system is free, so you're not paying any monthly payments. There is something called Connecticut Solar Lease Program. If you don't want to own the system and you just want you want the solar system and you don't want to pay any upfront costs, it's called a lease. It's a 20-year lease, and your monthly payment would be $56 a month. And the benefit of that is it is going to stay at $56 for 20 years. So if you know you're spending $112 on electricity today, which keeps on going up, you would only spend $56 on the lease, and the whole system, there would be no upfront cost, 0 cost. All you're going to do is pay $56 a month. So after 20 years, the lease company has an option where they'll send an appraiser and you can buy it out at a fair market value. So if you don't want it, then they pay to remove it, and then you're done. So what was the question? The Connecticut Solar Lease Program. They pay to have it removed, and you're done. You've met your obligations. You've gotten a solar system, and it saved you a lot of money. But the problem, what's really probably going to happen is, they're a bank, and they probably don't want the system back, and they'll give you a very low buyout value, very cheap, like $1, and you can own it, because they're not going to want this used equipment back. And so you keep it on your roof, and it keeps on making power for you. So I just want to quickly go over cash flow. It's probably hard to see this, but this system, the 6,000 watt system, was supposed to generate 7,500 kilowatt hours per year. And at a conservative 18-cent utility rate, that comes out to $1,349 the first year in savings. So the system costs $8,000 after all of your tax credits and your rebates. And every year it's saving $1,300, then $1,400, and $1,500. So the payback is 5 years. Okay, so 5 years you paid back $8,000 because you keep on saving money every year. Now, if you keep on doing this math and you keep on, going out, in 20 years you've saved $38,000, and in 25 years you've saved $60,000 because the cost of electricity keeps on going up. We know this. We know that the long-term inflation rate for the utility company, we know what it is, and we can easily project what's going on. So the longer you have the system, the more money you save. If you do a lease and you only pay $56 a month, the green line represents the utility company's bills going up. The yellow line represents your lease payment. And the savings on a lease, on a 20-year lease, are $33,000. So you paid no money up front, and you just changed who you're paying for electricity. Instead of paying the utility company, you're paying a leasing company, which is cheaper, and they're never going to raise their rates. And you have a solar system on your roof. So you save money. So people shouldn't, there is now a financial program for every type of customer. The cash is probably the best because you save the most amount of money. These systems, because they're generating thousands of dollars in savings every year, the rate of return on your investment is averaging close to 15%. And that's why so many people, big banks, Warren Buffett, Wall Street, they're investing in huge commercial systems because the sun comes out, they last forever, last 30 years, and they generate such a great rate of return. So if you have money to invest, I would invest it in a solar system. So I have solar panels on my house. A lot of people that work for us have solar panels because it's a great investment. Why keep on paying more and more and more money to the utility company when you can keep it in your pocket? And that's what you're doing. So This is a really cool thing that has come out. So if anybody knows about ductless heat pumps, they're really popular in Europe and they're popular in Asia, and that's all they use there. And so there's no ductwork, right? It's just like, it looks like a central air conditioner, like on the outside, but there's just a little head unit inside with a little 1-inch pipe, and there's no duct. So what the inside unit does is it blows filtered air, like cool air in the summertime, air conditioning, and then it produces heat in the wintertime. So now for example, the current Mitsubishi ductless system that we're installing, they'll consistently make 70-degree heat even at -10 degrees. So these are very efficient. So on average, they only use like 1,000 kilowatt hours a year of electricity, and we can easily give you some solar panels that will make 1,000 kilowatt electricity. So if you do solar and you do ductless heat pump, you'll have no more oil bill, and hopefully you'll have no more electric bill. And the state is supporting this. So, after we did a couple of these in Durham, the state came out with this program that said, hey, we'll give you a really, really cheap interest rate, fix it for 10 years, it's unsecured, it's not tied to your house, if you do both of these things at the same time. So they even like the idea. So a lot of people have this, it really works, and it saves a lot of money because people are spending $4,000 or $5,000 easily on oil. You don't have to anymore.
But if you exceed your historic consumption in order to, add this sort of thing, does that affect your discounting at all that the state offers? Let's say you've been using whatever, 1,000 kilowatt hours, and you say, I want you to put in a system for 1,400 so I can convert. Does it affect your system?
This is the cool thing that the state did, is that normally they let you build a system that is based on how much power you use in 1 year. So they don't want people like overbuilding their solar system sizes and suddenly turning into like a energy company, right? Because you have this huge power plant on your house. So they give you a rebate based on 100% of what you use. But if you install a ductless heat pump, or if you buy an electric car, they'll let you build a much larger system. So it's not tied to 12 months of your usage anymore. You say, hey, we're installing a heat pump, or I'm buying an electric car, or whatever, and they'll give you more rebate money. You can build a bigger solar system, they'll give you more rebate money. So one heat pump, which does about 1,000 square feet, is $4,000. And we ran our own competitive bid process, and we picked the best parts, and we picked a local installer to install them. And this is half the price of what typically people charge to install a heat pump. Because we said we're going to install like 50 homes. If you install two, I think it was
75.
$7,000. If you install two, like some people want to install one on the first floor, one on the second floor. So when we come to your home, you tell us you're interested, we'll give you the price of this. At the same time, we give you the price of solar. And if you want to take a loan, you can take a Smart E loan at fixed at 3%, 10 years. It's the best deal you'll ever get. Because the unsecured loan at any bank is like 7% or 6%.
I have a question about that. The ones that you're selling are one zone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I have one at work that is zoned for 3 different offices. Is there any way, something that you could think about in the future?
So we picked this one particular model is because it was the most efficient.
Right.
It used the least amount of electricity. And when you want more zones, you install more. That's why we have a price for 1, for 2, for 3.
But
So,
that's 3 units outside.
yes, but the outside units are not huge. They're not big at all.
Right. Well, the size of that one it looks to me to be the same size as the one we have at work that is zoned for 3 different offices. That's what I'm saying.
So the ones that do multiple zones are bigger than, so this picture doesn't, I don't know if the picture represents the one we're installing, but the ones that do multiple zones are bigger, much bigger, and then they're less efficient, they use more electricity. So, all right, we'll ask. Okay, there's a $1,000 rebate if you get a heat pump from Connecticut Light and Power, on top of all other stuff you get.
Yes, if we do know that we're gonna be installing something that is actually a part of our home now?
So, there's two answers to that. One is anything that's on your home is automatically covered by insurance. Like if I put something on your roof, it is covered by insurance. And number two is people sometimes call their insurance company and they say, hey, I have a $20,000 solar system on my roof, I want to get insured. You know, that most homes, if they're worth like $500,000, $600,000 and they add $20,000, it changes their insurance by $10 a year. So if you want to add, you know, more value, because the insurance company really cares about value. They don't care, you know, about a lot of things. They just say, how much is this worth? So it doesn't cost much more if you want to be safe and tell them, but most people don't because anything on your home is covered by insurance. I just want to go through maybe 2 or 3 more slides and then we can ask questions. I don't work for the insurance company, but our customers have done it both ways. So the ones that have called the insurance company and added, you know, some value, it wasn't a big deal at all. It didn't change their premium that much.
If you already have a price, do you need to, do you want to add the pump system? Do you have to put more panels on your house?
So if we gave you a price based on your utility bill, then we didn't factor in that you're getting heat pumps, because heat pumps use electricity. So if you're getting heat pumps, we probably want to give you some more panels, because our goal is to cover you 100%. Right? You don't want to, instead of getting a $16 bill forever, you don't want to get $24 bill, right? So we're trying to cover you 100%. Yeah, sure.
If you haven't owned your home for a year yet, can you still get in on the program?
Yeah, I think, you know, they have average, like a home uses 8,000 or 9,000 kilowatt hours a year. So if you haven't lived in your home that long, the state is just going to use an average.
Can they look at your last 3 or 4 months or whatever and go over something?
They're pretty strict. They like to look at a year. And if you're new to the home, they'll just take whatever the federal average is. Okay. So people always ask, like, what does it do to my home resale value? And the federal government did a study, Berkeley Labs, Department of Energy, did a study. They looked at over 15,000 homes, and they looked at homes that sold, that had solar panels, and they calculated, you know, what the increase was worth. And just to break it down, they said 1 kilowatt, which is 4 solar panels, 1 kilowatt, which is 1,000 watts, 4 solar panels increased the home value by $5,500. So when these customers sold a home, they got more money. And if in, you know, Killingworth or Haddam were putting in 10 kilowatt systems, that's $55,000 increase in your value that you can get. And the reason is, and you can read this report, it's on Google, you can just get it. The reason is banks look at what it costs you to live in the home when they give you a mortgage. And if you no longer have a $200 or $300 utility bill, that is an increased mortgage that they can give the homeowner can afford to pay, and you as a seller got that money up front. So when you sell your house, you get $55,000 more, and the new homeowner, you know, will be able to pay the bank a little bit higher mortgage because they don't have a utility bill. That was the whole reasoning behind the report. We have 2 customers that sold their home, one in Colchester. It was 6 months ago. He got multiple offers, sold in 1 week, and he got more than he was asking. And there's one in Guilford where the day that it went on the market, the real estate agent person bought the house. So the first day. So those are our experiences, right? Our customers told us that it was so easy to sell their house because, you know, new people who are coming in buying homes, they really care about energy. They care about what they're going to pay. So it is a really big deal. And all over the country, there are tens of thousands of solar installations going every day all over the country. This has been a real big shift. In the last 10 years, people have woken up and they're really taking charge of their own energy bills.
Does the warranty be valid with the homeowner?
Yeah, the warranty is 25-year warranty. It doesn't matter. Anybody else? Question?
Are most people who are doing this, how old are their homes?
All over the board. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
About 300.
We had some of those, especially in Durham.
I wonder if there's any realtors here. Does that detract from the value of the house? A house that old?
And then anybody a realtor? So, you know, when we did Durham, a lot of younger people bought homes that were 300 years old. They thought it was cool. It was like, hey, this is a cool home, and they wanted solar. They wanted, you know, they believed in taking care of their energy bills. So I don't think not everybody buys an old home just because it's so like, you know, they're historic or something. I think a lot of people buy it just because it was convenient, it was in a good location, it was in a good school district, and they got a good price on it or something.
But what if the home itself is in a historical district?
Yeah, so on Main Street in Durham, there were a lot of homes in the historic district, and they all got approved. They went through the application process. The application went through the historic district, state historic district. They all got approved, and you can actually drive on Main Street in Durham and see homes with solar. What was that? Yeah, go ahead.
Do the heat pumps require a well? I mean, geothermal? Or
No, these are air source heat pumps. There's no wells. Very cheap, right? Because people who were spending money on geothermal were spending like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on all the equipment. And then when they ran the geothermal system, they were spending like $400 or $500 on electric bills. In the summertime and then in the wintertime, these are so much better. They're very affordable. You're not drilling any wells. If you have multiple zones, you keep one off because you're living in the first floor or whatever. And they use, on average, only 1,000 kilowatt hours per heat pump. Okay, go ahead.
Can you use the heat pump to augment your oil, not necessarily replace it?
Yeah. So, you know, the only time, the question was, can you augment your oil by using a heat pump? So yeah, I mean, most of the time a heat pump would be on, your oil would not be used. You could keep it off. In extreme cold, if you wanted to turn on your oil, you could. But most people don't need to anymore because the ones we're giving you are rated to keep the same temperature even at minus 10 degrees.
So does the heat pump tie into the existing duct system?
No, it's ductless heat pump. So all it is a little blower unit that gets installed inside your house, and it's connected with a little 1-inch, you know, pipe to the outdoor unit that looks like a central air conditioner.
So it's just this.
Yeah, it's very quiet. It doesn't make any noise. It cleans the air by like 99.9%, and it blows air and you know, covers 1,000 square feet per heat pump.
how does the panels affect the maintenance of the roof, replacing shingles, etc.?
So the question was, you know, what do you do about your roof and the maintenance of your roof? So